I played Apex Season 26 early, and this time, literally everything is changing. Weapons have changed, ranked has changed, pubs have changed, the legend meta has changed. There's literally a brand new permanent game mode, something we haven't seen since Season 17. This season is going to be pretty interesting for everybody. Unless you're a devotion abuser, because yeah, that's getting nerfed. Thanks to EA for the opportunity. Let's take a look at everything new. Now, before I get into the ranked changes, there's some pretty big ones, including some new rewards and the new game mode. Let's first look at the meta changes, because there's still some really significant things happening in terms of weapons, Hopups, and legends, as well as new amps. They're like new abilities that you can find in the game. So let's talk about that first, and then we'll break down the new game modes and sort of gameplay changes outside of the meta. Now, just as I get into this, I actually recorded all of this whilst traveling. So this video is going to be a little bit less highly edited and more me sharing my thoughts with some background footage that I did manage to capture. So please bear with me a little bit as we go through this. I try not to waste your time at all. Firstly, we've got a new feature called Locked Hopups. This, I think, is going to make a big impact on the loot health and just really fix up some issues with the loot pool in general, and also allow for more Hopups to be in play at one time. So essentially, Hopups are now no longer found on the ground. They are built directly into weapons, and they must be unlocked through gameplay. So damaging players usually is the way to upgrade your weapon, which will then unlock the Hopup. Now, depending on the Hopup's power will determine how much damage you'll need to do to unlock it. So if you've got a really low power Hopup, then doing a little bit of damage, you'll probably get it available, like the accelerator Hopup. But if you want something like, I don't know, a turbocharger, if it ever comes back, then you're going to need to do even more damage to unlock it. Now, what's really interesting about this system is that if you upgrade a weapon, that Hopup will be upgraded and unlocked for that specific weapon. Even if you get killed, that weapon will still have it unlocked. And if you go and pick up another weapon, for example, you have an R301, you unlock a Hopup, and then you go pick up another R301, it's not going to have the Hopup unlocked. It's specific to each individual weapon. Now, this is going to add a lot of progression to just the general gameplay loop. Instead of it all being about focusing on getting loot, you can now deal damage to upgrade your guns, which is pretty cool. And it also means that we can get more Hopups back into the mix. I had a look through the firing range to see the Hopups. They're mostly the same this season as they were last season, with the accelerator also being now a locked Hopup that you have to deal damage to unlock. But there is a brand new Hopup. It's the Graffiti mod Hopup, which is essentially what we had in Big Mod. It will give you larger magazine size and faster weapon handling. Now, interestingly, this is going to be on the Vault SMG, which is pretty cool. I'm quite a fan of that. The Vault might end up being a contender because it's going to have a pretty nice mag size increase. Now, on top of the new locked Hopup system, there's a new system for weapons called Elite Weapons. Now, essentially what this is going to be is they'll take one weapon temporarily and completely change it. So this is a way for them to basically introduce new gameplay mechanics into the core weapon meta without adding or removing weapons all the time. And I think in terms of gameplay, it's going to allow us to have more fresh experiences without them having to worry about messing up the loot pool or adding or removing weapons. I mean, we know how long it took to get the Bocek back to the ground. They are really, really careful when it comes to balancing the loot pool. And I mean, that's okay, I guess, if they have this system called Elite Weapons. So the first Elite Weapon is the RE45. And the description is, the RE45 just got a high energy upgrade courtesy of Ballistics Private Arsenal. Precision engineered to deliver 3-round energy bursts to the face of any rival. It's a true short king. Compact, powerful, and not to be underestimated. I played a very short amount during this early season because, like I said, I was traveling. My ping was very high, but the one gameplay highlight I did have was the RE45. It's kind of ridiculous. And I never liked the RE45 before. This is a completely different gun. It's like a Nemesis pistol. It's so good and so powerful. They obviously wanted to shake up the meta with this gun, and they're doing exactly that. Now, this is only temporary. Elite weapons will be around for a limited time before they go back to being a normal version. So the normal RE45 is out of the game. We've got the RE45 Elite, and in the future, we can expect other elite weapons to be added to the mix that will play completely different to their normal versions. Some other interesting weapon changes this season. The Peacekeeper is now to the floor. The Akimbo P20 is in the care package, and it has the kinetic feeder hop-up, so as you slide, you get more ammo added back to the mag. The Mozambique got a buff, and hipfire accuracy for LMGs has been reduced, so yeah, Devotion is going to be a little bit less powerful. And for accelerator hop-ups, they've been nerfed. You'll now need to use the weapon itself for it to work. You won't be able to just stow it in your backpack anymore. Right, now it's time to look at the legend changes, and then we'll look at the new game mode, the new ranked changes, and all of the other stuff like the new Heirloom. So first things first, Caustic is getting a massive buff. Lore-wise, basically what happened was Sparrow's cat accidentally knocked a chili pepper into his poison, and somehow chili plus Caustic's poison makes super poison. That's the lore behind it anyway. So now this gas really is massively different. Firstly, when you are slowed by gas, your speed will be capped immediately. So if you dash into gas, stim into gas, use any kind of movement, you'll immediately be slowed down. And being in the gas will completely drain movement ability cooldowns. So it literally is like this massive field of slowing poison that slows you down. You're not going to be able to just jump into there and get out with a free kill. Can't do it anymore. Pretty cool buff. Caustic also has a new passive that is going to allow him to do certain actions to level up his Evo faster. So, an interesting buff there. And we should see some general stat improvements for his gas damage and gas ticks. I'm not sure on these specifics here. We'll have to wait for the patch notes for that. And like I said, I was traveling, so I was unable to test it fully myself. Controller perks themselves are also getting a buff, and this is going to be useful for all controller legends. Firstly, when you activate a ring console for the second time, it will give you the option to do it after the first time, you'll get an evac tower. So the zone overcharge has a new feature. You'll now regenerate shields slowly whilst you're in the current safe ring, kind of like Watson's passive. Bangalore's also received some pretty nice upgrades. Firstly, her smoke will now be able to breach doors, pretty cool, and her upgrades have changed completely, her perks. You can get perks to get stronger health regen in smoke and fast reses for your team, so you can kind of lean towards the support tree a little bit. Or you can go the other way and get EMP added to your smoke and your ultimate. This is like electric smoke, and it won't damage or slow enemies, but it will destroy traps and even like rampart walls. So it's kind of like a mini crypto ult. And it's interesting, the Bangalore with the EMP ability is basically going to counter Caustic, which is pretty cool. Now they've also added a new feature for both Bangalore and Caustic's gas and smoke that will counter both of these characters. When you throw a frag grenade now at the gas or the smoke, it will temporarily disperse, allowing you to gain vision that you would otherwise not be able to get. This is like a really cool feature that I'm really glad they added. Now, remember Hopups are being removed from the loot pool, right? And there's going to be something else added to take their place. These are called amps, and they are brand new lootable passive abilities that will, well, amp your gameplay, both in unranked and ranked. There's going to be a few to start with. We'll go through these right now. And yeah, they really are going to augment everything you do in the game. We've got an infinite ammo amp, which, well, gives you infinite ammo. You know, pretty straightforward, but it locks your 2 inventory slots, so you cannot change your guns. So you're kind of like, you know, you don't need to loot ammo, but you lose out on 2 inventory slots because of it. And then we've got over armor amp, which gives you an extra 25 shield capacity. Pretty interesting. And then power booster amp. This reduces tactical and ultimate charge time and also restores a tactical charge when you knock an enemy. Then we've got overflow healer amp. Cells and syringes heal 100% of shields and health over time, respectively. So one single cell can be popped, and then you're going to passively recharge all of your health from it, which is pretty crazy. And then we have bottomless batteries amp. If you have 2 or more batteries in your inventory, you'll never consume a battery. You can just constantly use shield bats and you'll never run out. Obviously, these are pretty powerful things. Some of them feature abilities that we've seen before in other gold items, and some of them are brand new. I wonder how this is going to change the meta. Obviously, these things are pretty powerful. We don't know if there's any other small meta changes, buffs and nerfs, all that stuff. Probably. We'll have to wait for the patch notes. Seems like a pretty good season so far, right? But we've only just scratched the surface. We've just looked at the meta. Now it's time to look at the new game mode changes, and there are a lot. Firstly, let's talk about ranked. It's quicker to kind of cover this first, and I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about this. Ranked will change to be more like ALGS next season. You won't have Jump Master anymore, there won't be any more hot dropping, everyone will be randomly assigned a different POI and drop out of a dropship onto that POI. It's very much like the ALGS draft system. It's really, really interesting. It's going to eliminate hot drops. It's going to completely change the flow of ranked and make for a more competitive ranked experience. And I cannot wait for this. It's going to be really, really awesome. Now, to go along with the new rank changes, there's finally a new ranked reward. They're called auras. And basically, it's a giant badge above your head that showcases your rank, and it's your current rank. You don't need to wait for the next rank season to be over to get this reward. It will immediately show whatever rank you are right now. Now, it can go on any legend and any skin. You can equip it in the menu or turn it off. It's only available in certain areas, though. You'll see it in the lobby, you'll see it in the champion winning screen, you'll see it during emotes, you'll see it during the skydive animation, and during revives. And also, you'll see it during finishes. So you can finish an enemy to flex your aura on the enemy. For example, if you've got a pred aura, you can go and finish them. It's kind of a cool way to do it, but it won't show in normal gameplay. Like when you're running around, you won't see people's auras just on their backs, but it's a pretty cool, cool cosmetic. What are your thoughts on it? I'd love to hear the community's feedback on this one. In terms of RP changes, Bronze tier now has an entry RP cost. So there's a little bit of friction for Bronze players now, so they're not just going to get into Silver immediately. Gold and Plat will have RP changes, and there will be less RP rewarded for kills, but there will be an increase for RP gains for eliminating higher ranked opponents. Now, obviously, a lot of people are worried about this season being like Season 17. With there being less RP for kills, then that opens up the opportunity for just ratting. And the dev said they're very aware of that. They're trying to avoid that, and they think the current system is going to be fine. But if it's not, they'll be very quick and active to make any live adjustments immediately they notice any potential problems with ratting being too overpowered. So don't worry about that. Right, we've still got more to talk about. Remember, there's an entirely new permanent game mode. We'll get to that in a second. Let's cover some small little miscellaneous things first that I think some people will find pretty interesting. Firstly, E-District is getting a daytime update. The daytime update literally brings daytime, changes the skybox, and it looks pretty similar to the Angel City map from Titanfall, and they've done that purposely. It's a daytime map, improves visibility, makes it a little bit easier for casuals to see what they're looking at. This will have better readability, less visual clutter. They've also added a new rotation from Lotus. Some buildings across the map have also been removed. Kings Canyon has had improved lighting and visibility. It's like super vibrant and bright right now. It kind of looks like Apex Mobile, which is kind of weird. And Storm Point has also had time of day changes. So they've done a full visual overhaul of the 3 maps currently in rotation for the start of the season that have improved lighting and visibility essentially. We've also got a new battle pass and a new heirloom. This melee weapon is tied to the new game mode Wildcard, just like kind of similar melee items in the past. You can pick it up in Wildcard and use it. It has different abilities, but I'm assuming there'll be some kind of collection event for this as well, because there is a literal equipable heirloom for it. You can see some of the animations for it on screen now. It has a pretty cool like baseball card inspect animation when you crouch with it, and I'm sure there'll be some cool rare animations to find. As always, has different variances in colors if you use exotic shards to unlock it, so kind of like the typical universal heirloom thing they're doing at the moment. The Battle Pass has a few different highlights, with the reactive weapon being one of them. We've got a pretty cool Altar skin and Mirage skin throughout this Battle Pass, and some fairly nice weapon skins throughout as well. I'm kind of just speedrunning it through it right now. As you can see, I don't want to waste too much time going through every single little Battle Pass thing, because this is a a full overview video. Perhaps if you want to see a Battle Pass full showcase video, let me know in the comments below. Now, new game mode, right? Not quite yet. We've got an entirely new system in the game that some people will find interesting and some people will find kind of pointless, and it depends on kind of where you are in the spectrum in terms of casual or sweat or somewhere in between. This thing is called Accolades. It's kind of like a badge or medal system that we've seen in other games before. Essentially, you'll get different accolades for achieving certain things like triple kills, using movement, getting kills with certain circumstances. These are like challenges that you can unlock and progress, and they'll appear during the match for you to see. And then you can go back to the menu and see your progress as you earn more and more of these accolades. And there are different accolades across different game modes. Interestingly, as the game changes with each season, the accolades will reset and you have to unlock them again. There doesn't seem to be any specific reward for unlocking accolades right now, but it seems to be sort of like a nice little dopamine boost, more so aimed towards the casual players. And I don't know what you think about this. As a sweat, I mean, it's kind of a cool thing. There's some pretty interesting accolades to unlock, but I think this is more aimed towards the casual players here. Now, this is a really miscellaneous thing, but they've changed the reward screen. After a match, you'll get this cool animation. It's a bit laggy for me because I was alt-tabbed when it played. But it will showcase all of the rewards you've got in a game, whether it's Battle Pass rewards, badges, progress towards accolades, everything all at once in this cool animation. All right, it's finally time to talk about Wildcard, the new permanent mode. You're probably wondering why I left it till the very end of this video. I think all of the other changes are going to be more significant for most ongoing players. To me, Wildcard seems like a more casual mode. It's going to be fun, but there's a problem. It's not going to track your kills. There's not going to be any badge tracking or anything like that. This is a game mode to play for fun, to relax and have a good time. There's no sweating it out or kill grinding in this mode. And I think for a lot of sweats and long-term players, that's a problem. I think a lot of people aren't going to be interested in this game mode because of that. But that's okay. There's still unranked. There's still ranked for all that stuff anyway. This is a no badge mode. It's literally like the mixtape of Battle Royale. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, going into that, it's still going to be a very fun game mode with all sorts of cool modifiers and stuff, and we're going to break down what's going on with Wildcard as best as I can. This is going to be sort of more of an off-the-cuff explanation of everything going on, and you can see some gameplay in the background. Admittedly, not the best gameplay. Like I said, I was in the middle of traveling, so there's not much I could do in terms of getting full gameplay here. But yeah, it's a brand new permanent game mode. You start with a self-revive kit. And if you get eliminated, you will be able to get respawned, just like you would in other respawn game modes, as long as there are other players in your team still alive. And they can speed up the respawn time by dealing damage and stuff. We've seen that in previous modes. So yeah, lots of respawns in this mode, and you even get a self-revive kit. Now, also, you can play as the same legend. So you can have 3 mirages if you want, three fuses, 3 of anything, right? They want this mode to be able to be, you just go in and have fun, right? So you're not going to have people rage quitting because someone's taken their main, okay? Cool, no sweat mode, right? On top of that, everything's been streamlined in terms of loot. Weapons get more powerful as you level them up, so there's no attachments. You can get scopes, right? But that's it. No Hopups, no mags, nothing like that. It's all built into like as you level up the weapon. Okay, so you deal more damage, it levels up, it gets more powerful. And as you go, you'll see that most loot's completely gone. When you knock players, you'll get health regen. You got a set amount of shields that you'll just be able to use all the time, like infinite shield usage. You don't need to worry about looting shields or anything like that. The inventory system is super simplified. And when you kill a player, the important loot will just blow up onto the ground. And when you walk over that player, you'll auto-loot it. There's this new feature called Evo Orbs. You'll find those throughout the map. And getting an Evo Orb will level up your armor faster, level up your weapons faster. It's kind of like just levels up everything in the game. So it's a super simplified version of the game where you basically auto-loot everything. You just go and shoot people and have fun, right? Lots of respawns, really fast-paced gameplay. There's also, basically, you can just travel across the map super fast, right? You've got grav cannons, you've got zip rails. You could just go across the entire map really quickly so that if you can't find anyone to fight, then no problem. You can just travel across the map in 2 seconds and then you can find people to fight. It is literally all about fighting. It's not about like trying to win the game or anything. I mean, that can be fun as well, but it's all about having a good time, shooting your gun in a battle royale aspect, right? In the battle royale mode, but there's no threat or anything. Now, the wildcard feature is where something kind of unique comes into play. You can have up to 3 wildcards every match, and you can get these from wildcard replicators. 1 wildcard as the game progresses and goes into zone 2 and 3, you can get 1 more, and then a 3rd final wildcard. I literally could not even play enough to get my experience of these things, but there's different wildcard abilities. These things can be anything from like faster movement or even like temporary wall running and stuff. And as the game goes on, they plan to add more wild cards. Like I said, unfortunately, I didn't get much experience with that. So we're going to have to take a look at other videos online to see what kind of wild cards there are. But yeah, it's just a fun way to augment gameplay in a new way. Now, there's also the bat, the heirloom thing that we talked about. That's a new melee weapon. You can do melee damage with it, and you can charge it up to launch players through the air. So pretty cool, and that will be available in care package in Wildcard. So that's Wildcard. It's the new permanent game mode. Like I say, I think it's definitely more aimed towards casual players. It's a no sweat, chill game mode where you can just run around and shoot people, and there's not going to be any kill tracking or anything like that. But personally, I'm going to enjoy playing it, and I think casuals will. Let me know what you think about that, and whether they could make any improvements to make it more interesting. So that's Apex Legends Season 26. Stay tuned for more content and subscribe, because I'll be covering everything else, all the little tiny details that I couldn't in this video. Future videos on this channel, so I'll see you there. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio!